Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to go ahead and do the holistic review. It is for today. It is May 4th, and it's going to be all the way through the 20th of May. So, basically all you need to know is that it is a run through, it is a go through, it is a B&B, it is known, it is the FDA, the CDC, the DEA, the DPH, the DACO, all the agencies that deal with big healthcare. Now, when I see this, you can't really do, and you can't really see, and you can't really sue, but you literally, it has to talk about ghosting. And when it talks about ghosting, it has to do with actually setting up your appointments and actually keeping them. So when I look at it completely, it really is hard to go. And it really is hard to go on a way to a maximal and a maximal. And it goes into this rhyme. And it really is heinous. So I look at it, I'm like, but I have GI upset. I have GI. But then you see it and you say, no, really, it's true. It really is true. The Ace of Hearts shows that you can't do anything undone, but you got to try to keep your appointments the best that you can. So when you see this and you say the Seven of Diamonds, it really goes to show how bad it really is of like like a Joe, like a cup of Joe. Like you need a cup of coffee? Do you need something? He goes, no, it's just gonna kick off. So the Seven of Diamonds to the Three of Diamonds, it really is a 10. That's a completion of a cycle, a 10, which is really heinous. It really is. When you go to the Four of Clubs, there really is no grouping or getting together, so you can't even do a culture. It really is. So this is how it all plays out. Today's diamonds, it is like a cutout where they don't even do anything to the Two of Diamonds. I can't even make it up. I can't even make it up. So when I look at it and I see where it goes on a through and through to an all in all, you can't even click it on harder at all. At all. So the Seven of Spades to the Three, another 10. A Seven of Spades to the Three of Spades. And then we had the Seven of Diamonds to the Three of Diamonds, 2 10s, 2 completed cycles, to the Nine of Diamonds, to the Four of Hearts, to the 10 of Hearts, 3 10s. All you need to know is that there's something that is just not right. So let's look at the tarot. That's rare. 3 10s and a poker draw. What is going through here? What is going through? What do we need to know for the next 3 weeks? It really is a new beginning. It really means this, the Hermit. The Hermit literally means you can't even do it right away. You can't even. So when you do it and you go through and you sit here and you say, where did this partnership come through? And then you look and you go, holy cow. Holy cow. It's a struggle. King of Wands in reverse is not honorable. I'm looking and I said there was something that was not right at all. It's little by little it reveals itself. So right now we're looking at Robert F. Kennedy, and he's talking about autism, and he's talking about red dye and all the foods. And then when you see it, it's not like a rush in. And then you see it to the Nine of Pentacles. And you go, it's not prudent, but it's a get together. And then you see it, it's no finality of relief. It is a little like deceitful to where it goes through to this like Three of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles. And you go, I just had a premonition. Absolute judgment. Absolute judgment. Holy cow. When you see it and you see the Knight of Wands, you can't even do it hard enough. Hard. You can't even charge in hard. Why? Because of blocks. It will literally slam you into the face. so hard. You get nasty sinus infections. You get nasty root canals. You see visual disturbances where you can't even get anything going or gone, or even like to the bank. It's just a cold. It's just a nastiness. And this is what the doctor said. You literally say, but it was a gift. It was a gift. You're like, how is this a gift? Of collecting through. This is where we actually sit here and say, how did you give us a gift of collecting through? It was like this, like throw it out there and see who actually caught it. It was this like type of trolling that actually gave like GI upset so bad that they have other issues up to fibromyalgia, antics, and in the neighborhood. Power. And when you go through it and you go instinct, and we boil it right down to all, it really is about rank rule. Rank rule. You can't even make a move on it, but you got to do like some sort of like cutting it out. So how do you do it? You really have to find some sort of like joy and strength to the defense. What was it? It was actually just listening. Just listen. Just sit and listen to the patients, and you'll believe it. Like you can't even get the words out, some of them. And when you look at it, you go, holy cow, you can't even say how forward it was on how bad it was to do a run. It's like something needs to be ashed, torched. Something is like running through here. We've seen this before. So basically it happened in the 90s in the streets where it would be like a smoke toe cloak, and then they would earn a coin, and then people in the public would get upset, and they already know how to do. They'll basically snap their fingers and make them kaput. And it's legal and lawful for them to do that because they literally harm them in a way unknown. It's hard to get a lot of things out of that. So when you see it, it really is a little bit harder. But when you see it as a type of like a burnout syndrome also, and when you see it like they're set in their like type of wealth, it's kind of odd. You end up having to say, no, let's do more cultures and more x-rays and let's actually see more testing on what is true and what is not. And it will use universal precautions to droplet precautions. So when you look at it and you say, ran it right down, there really is nothing that you could do, but really it was a free will choice for some. So when it comes to actually birthing, to birch, to Burkana, to anything of that nature, you can't even do it hard enough. Can't even do it. Something about living well, power of attorney. Something is looking. And that's why we have security too. They know how to do. They know how to do really hard and really well. Now, when I look at this, it will cause a little bit of havoc. They're not happy that there's armed guards maybe in these hospitals, but it got pretty hostile over the last 2 to 3 years. And they just don't understand. Here we go. Let's look at another deck. What is this like 3 of something that you can't do? That you literally just can't do. There we go. Go, Tara. What is these 3 tongues? Has to do with a marriage. A marriage story that took so long, that really was really hard. It had to do with a marriage. It had to do with ill judgment. It had to do with no securement. So I'm seeing it looks like 1998, but really it was like 1979 through 1989 where they made their contracts. It's just normal, like they do, like we talked about with like United Healthcare. They talked about Blue Cross Blue Shield, and then they reevaluate. There's really nothing new about it. And this is where the wishes come in and through turn. But when you see this and it sits like honorably, but what do they do about delayed care? And that's when they lose a lot of patients, more ways than one. So this was almost still a backlog. I feel it's ongoing. It has to do with like, it looks like admissions. I feel like it's a polypharmacy. So when I'm saying that I'm feeling, I already boiled it down. It's a DONE. Absolute DONE. You couldn't even believe it, how hard it was, and how much anxiety comes through when you look like a crazed loon, but there's something wrong with you. All right, Pleiadian and Oracle. Next 3 weeks on a backlog, all the way down. The CDC is counting, the DEA is watching, the DPH already knows about it, and they already have a full-fledged investigation. Same thing every day. FDA, they're watching the food the best that they can to all the other agencies and what is already known. I don't see a whole lot of research and study. It's already a little bit of backlog. That's why there really isn't much to go to. But really, when they see like Song of Your Soul, they're watching all the scans of certain things a little bit closer. There's something about like neurology that comes through. And when you see it, it looks like running with like imagination. And then you see it and it's right there. Like you, how it actually goes through. You couldn't even believe it. Like pinpoint dot to the ash star card. You can't even see it coming. Remembrance. It literally does. So star centers, again, star family, they already know how to do. So some people you actually have to do. It's just policy, procedure, and protocol. They literally have like an algorithm that they have to do it in such a way over and over to prove consistency. Prudency, consistency, and observancy is key always in healthcare. Always. Patterns of behavior, even in mental health. Okay. Next tarot deck. What else do we need to know? What is new? I'm really not seeing anything new coming, but I really see something is new, like coming towards the end of the month for 3 months. And when I see it and I see the Empress and I see this, it has to do with like alignment with types of energy, like chakras, believe it or not. So I'm seeing a lot of chiropractic. I'm seeing more integration with those recommendations, and to the 9 of Cups, where they're actually happy. When you see the Hierophant, you couldn't even believe how hard it was to get it out, to the point where they were to source to this Ace of Wands, where it inspired new things to actually do. When you see this and you see the Hanged Man, you can't even believe how big and long of a pause it was. All right, lastly with this, and it's pretty short. I don't feel like there's any things to cut or chisel away, for lack of a better term, for healthcare. wild card, opening doors, opening up minds like epiphanies. It is aha moments after they're done being sick. All of a sudden, they're like new. They're brand new. And when you see it, you have to say, I need to actually look at how you did this. Because when you see it and you go, you're like, they were like at the bottom. They're really not well. They're really not well. Then all of a sudden they're like, they took a nap and then never mind. You couldn't believe how like big they cleared. You couldn't even believe it. Create like manifested like creative accountability. You can't even believe it. So when it actually relates to all these agencies and how it plays out into community health, like small healthcare hospitals, they're literally going to be looking at the gloves and counting to everyone who's coming in, to actually people who normally get sick. That's how like common it is. You see the same patients come in, and it's always around the same time. So when you actually look at it on healthcare and you see the patients are like, yeah, they usually do get this nastiness around November, usually around November or anything of that nature. You actually go through it all the way to like bigger hospitals, to the big agencies. And they're like, it really is just a continuance on of whatever like wars have come through or issues in the community. And it goes down to games and antics. So that's why you got to be picky and choosy. So with that being said, the question on the table is the denial forms and the issues, union or anything like that. What else do we need to know that we haven't addressed? Really, everything is still running through and like going through. I feel like this case of bird flu was really nasty to the point where it was like hard. And then when you actually run it hard and you run it so smooth to get it out, you can't even do it because there's just nothing else left to do. There really is nothing else left to do. Not even on a 917 to a 359. That literally is like types of like numbers and codes. It runs through all the way to like Walter Reed and all the way through to the bigger hospitals that have big names. So with that being said, there's nothing else to say. Any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share. An email is greatly appreciated, and we'll talk to you soon.